We're here with JP and his mom, Angie. Everybody always thinks this isn't going to happen to me. That happens to other people. That doesn't happen to me. And very quickly in life, these things happen, and then all of a sudden, it is us. So walk us through the very first couple of moments when you know something's wrong and we need to utilize All Children's Hospital.
I was very young, 23 or 24, and I was 22 weeks pregnant. And I went in for my ultrasound to find out if I was having a girl or a boy. And I didn't leave with the excitement I expected. I left being sent to another doctor.
So everything was fine. You go to get the
Yes.
ultrasound, and then it's,
They noticed
we need
something's
to-
wrong with the
yeah.
heart of the baby. And we were sent to I believe it was a perinatologist who looked at the heart and said, we're not quite sure what it is. You're going straight to All Children's tomorrow. And we came here, and that was the first time that we met his two cardiologists, one who still takes care of him, Dr. Karang. And they took us in, and they did a ultrasound of him in utero at 22 weeks and told me that he had no left ventricle.
Oh, goodness.
And he was going to be born with hypoplastic left heart syndrome. And that we had two options, either to have a transplant or surgery. And we decided to go with a transplant because if the Lord wanted him with us, he had one shot, and we were going to give him that one shot. And yeah, you do think this happens to everybody else, but yeah, now he's 18. So
And that's the thing I keep saying this is that, you know, people gave money which led to better treatment, which leads to JP sitting here with us. This is why we do this, so that the babies today can live tomorrow, so that the rate for leukemia and remission now is drastic. We started this Radiothon 8 years ago. The rate of which kids are in remission now today versus 8 years ago has changed drastically, and it's because people like you that are stuck in traffic stopped what you were doing. We can literally process you in less than 3 minutes at 800-270-8642, and people gave. But that's why we need to raise money so that All Children's can continue to provide the care that they provide. They don't ever turn anybody away for their inability to pay. It's not, what insurance do you have? Here's a clipboard, fill out this paperwork. It's, Angela, what's going on? Okay, here's what we're going to do. Here's what you're going to see. And there seems to be this amazing calming, soothing effect, because you come in panicked, and they're like, no, we've done 160 of these. Hang on, here's what's going to happen.
well, at that time, he was number 16, actually.
Yeah.
So they hadn't done very many. He waited about 6 weeks. When he was born, he immediately went on the list. He waited about 6 weeks for a transplant. Or no, 8 weeks. He was 8 weeks old. I'm sorry, 8 weeks
Wow.
when he got his heart. He was number 16. That was back in 1997. At that time, they said, 10 years, we're not quite sure what will happen, and he still got the same heart, doing great at 18. He just had his 18th birthday, and in a few weeks, he'll have his 18th heart day. We celebrate for his transplant on December 18th. So,
Were there any complications with the transplant? I know it's got to be a perfect match, and what kind of complications did he have?
he had many complications. The transplant usually took about 6 hours, and he came out almost 13 hours later. We had to sign for an experimental drug at that time. And basically, Dr. Busek told us, I had one doctor explain all this stuff to me, and I looked at him and I go, but what does all that mean? He said, it means if you don't sign this paper, he probably won't live. Mm-hmm. And we said, give us the paper, because it's either, it's supposed to happen or it isn't. So we signed the paper. He couldn't have his chest closed for a couple days because the heart was swollen. And we were in, 3 weeks after he was transplanted, he went home for the first time. That part amazed me. Like 3 weeks later, I was like, I'm taking him home, and no machines, nothing, just him.
3 weeks. When I was born, you stayed in the hospital 3 weeks, even if you were a healthy kid.
Yeah, so.
Amazing.
Did that hospital have electricity back then?
Don't ever drive through Oldsmar.
So, JP, how much of this, a lot of this happened probably too early before you can remember, but you've certainly been in and out of this hospital. What are some of the things that you've experienced coming to All Children throughout the years?
It's great, and I like it. So,
is there anything that, you're probably too young to process this, but me as an old guy, if I went through what you went through, I would sit around going, wow, I've got a whole different heart inside of me. Do you ever think about that sort of stuff?
no, actually, I didn't.
Yeah, it's amazing how kids are so resilient. They just keep on going. Everything's cool.
I've often thought, my friends, their kids, they'll say, oh, they fight me to take their medicine. And I'm like, that's all he knows. As far as he knew,
Yeah.
babies were born, they went into the NICU, and they had to get a new heart. I mean, that's all he's known. When he was 1, he was diagnosed with hydrocephalus. So we've been in and out for that. At 4, he was diagnosed with Asperger's. He's had ADHD. But
It seems pretty healthy to me. He was talking to cheerleaders 10 minutes ago.
Right?
It seems like
Hanging
everything's
out with
good.
the Bucks cheerleaders.
That seems like a normal 18-year-old to me.
That's a good heart test.
Surpassed everything they ever said he would do.
And so, Mom, what would you say to those people that are stuck in traffic just trying to get home, to take everything for granted the way I'm going to when I get home this evening, the way we all do each and every night? What would you say to those people so we can push them to the right side of the fence and get them to pick up the phone?
This is an amazing hospital. I at one point moved across the country, but I always came back here for all of his care every few months because it's such an amazing hospital. Without everyone helping, it wouldn't be what it is because I've been there where you can't always pay all the bills when you have sick kids, no matter what your career is.
Sure.
And everyone that calls in, that donates, that helps all of the families. It helps us to have our child home with us to.
It's also the difference many times in you getting to be there while they're having treatment, I mean, I hate that we live in this day and age where most hospitals are, give me your insurance card, fill out all this stuff. Well, here's what we can do for you because your insurance will pay this much. The exact opposite of that is what happens here at All Children's. They don't, the second you walk through the door, it's here's what's going on with your kid, here's what we're going to do about it. They don't turn anybody away regardless of their ability to pay, but they can do that because of people you right there within the sound of my voice picking up the phone and helping us. This is your chance. It sounds cliche, but you can literally give the gift of life. 1-800-270-8642. We need about 15 or so more miracle makers in the next 30 minutes. I can't imagine we don't have 15 people listening that want to help save the life of a kid. 1-800, but maybe we don't. Maybe there aren't 15 of you. So that's cool. Just keep drinking your expensive coffees. You just go home where everything's cool, and you don't create some karma for yourself. You roll that way. Or maybe.
Well, if
Just maybe.
It could be you tomorrow.
Yeah,
Well, if you've ever
definitely
walked
could.
through these halls, if you've never been here, if you've never been here, I recommend come here, sign in at the front desk, just see what's going on. Everything here is amazing.
I just throw it on a credit card and I forget about it. And honestly, it's the only thing on my credit card bill that I feel good about. I look at that and go, man, we really did some good there. Man, she spent how much at the Pottery Barn? Man, what is Restoration Hardware and why does it cost so much? It'll be your favorite part of your credit card, I promise. 1-800-270-8642. We need you. We only ask for your help 2 days a year. Then we all go back to our daily lives and taking everything for granted. 1-800-270-8642. We need 15 more in the next 25 minutes or so. I heard the phone ring a couple of times. I have to think there's at least 13 more of you that care. 1-800-270-8642.